All right? We're the Hebrew Israelites. We're out here once again to prophesy the downfall of America, the downfall of the so-called white man. I want to start off by saying all praises to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, double honors to the elders of GMS, and salute to all the brothers out there doing the work in truth and sincerity. You know what I'm saying? Because we at the times of the end, man. And we're out here to speak about destruction and famines and the downfall of a society just like our forefathers, all the prophets that you read about in the scriptures did, man. Can you give me that scripture?
Jeremiah 28:8. The prophets that have been before me and before thee of old prophesied both against many countries and against great kingdoms.
Hey, so when you read about the prophets, when you read about who you call Jesus Christ in the Bible, all right, these are the things that they did, man. They prophesied against kingdoms, man. What is that? What is that? What would that be known as today, man? Like a revolutionary, man. Somebody that's against the government. Okay? Who you call the prophets of the Bible, who you call Jesus Christ, this is the things that they did, man. Can you start again?
The prophets that have been before me and before thee of old prophesied both against many countries and against great kingdoms of war and of evil and of pestilence.
And that's what we're doing right here, man. Because war, evil, and pestilence is coming to the streets of America, man. And we're out here telling you people before it comes, man. Before the fall and the collapse of the economy, man. Before World War III, man. Before the Russians show up in your backyard, you got the men of the Lord out here telling you about it, man. All through the spirit of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, man. Because the so-called white man, through his media outlets and through all these things of the world, he's not gonna tell you what's going on. He's gonna lie to you, man. He's gonna tell you that there's peace, man. You got scripture?
Joel 2:1. Blow ye the trumpet in Zion and sound an alarm in my holy mountain.
And that's what we're doing, man. We're blowing the trumpet in Zion. And Zion and Jerusalem is a people before a place, man. Right here in the midst of the so-called Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Americans, which make up the 12 tribes of Israel, man. We're blowing the trumpet. We're blowing the alarm that destruction is coming to America very soon, man. Go ahead, bro.
Let all the inhabitants of the land tremble, for the day of the Lord cometh, for it is nigh at hand.
The day of the Lord is near at hand, man. All right, how do we know that? Because prophecies are being fulfilled. You get into the
This is RT?
Yeah.
So for RT News, titled Putin blames West for global chaos. The Russian leader did not hesitate to name who was responsible for sowing the seeds of disorder that is gripping many parts of the world, including in Syria.
Yeah. And you know who we're talking about, man. When they say the West, it's talking about the so-called white man's democratic structure, man. Like the European way of life and the American, the Western powers, man. And he said that they're the reason, they're the ones sowing the seeds of disorder, man. Go ahead, bro.
Our partners just can't stop, Putin said at a meeting with representatives of one of the Russia's regions. They have already created chaos in many territories, and now they are continuing the same policy in other countries, including Syria.
Yeah, because this is what the so-called white man does, man. He goes into other lands he goes into other lands that belong to other people, and he destroys them, man. He creates chaos. He turns the people against their own governments. This is the MO of the so-called white man. All right? Can you give me that scripture?
Habakkuk 2, I'll start at 3. For the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie.
And that's right, man. These visions are for an appointed time, man. The prophecies. But right now, we're seeing them speak, man. We're seeing that these prophecies are true, man. Because everything is happening accordingly, man, to the Bible. Go ahead.
Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come, it will not tarry. Behold, his soul which is lifted up is not upright in him, but the just shall live by his faith. Yea, also, because he transgresseth by wine, he is a proud man, neither keepeth at home.
That's the so-called white man. The so-called white man is a proud man, and he don't keep at home, man. That's why you're hearing about. That's why you hear Vladimir Putin talking about the Western nations are sowing the seeds of disorder, man. Because they don't keep at home, man. They go into these other nations' lands. Can you read that again?
Yea, also, because he transgresseth by wine, he is a proud man, neither keepeth at home, who enlargeth his desire as hell, and is as death, and cannot be satisfied.
That's right, man. So-called white man can't be satisfied, man. He over there in the Middle East, man, trying to take over all the oil, man. That's why he taking over the nations, man. Like Libya. They got oil in Libya, so he went into Libya. They got oil in Iraq, so he went into Iraq. So the so-called white man goes into these other nations' lands and he depletes some of the resources, man. And the so-called white man shows you examples of this in his own movies, man. You got like Avatar. All right, what happened in Avatar, man? The so-called white man went to a whole nother world, all right, and was robbing them of their resources, man.
Driven by greed. Can't be satisfied, like the scripture said.
Exactly, man. He can't be satisfied. He wanted to destroy the people to gain more riches, man.
You read that? I got scripture. Done. John 10:10. The thief cometh not, but for to steal and to kill and to destroy.
That's right, man. That's all that's the MO of the so-called white man, man. To steal, to kill, and to destroy. Because what is he doing, right? What has he been doing since he came out of the caves, man? He's been stealing, killing, and destroying the whole planet Earth, man. All its inhabitants, man. Even including the animals. Hey! That's what this so-called white man does. I was reading an article about how the Roman Empire went into this. I forget the name of the ancient city. I think it was a Carthage or something. How the Romans went in there and they basically destroyed their land, and then they covered the land in salt so that the land would never reproduce anything again, man. So the so-called white man he brings destruction, man.
It says, but gathereth unto him all nations, and heapeth unto him all people. Shall not all these take up a parable against him, and a taunting proverb against him, and say, woe to him that increaseth that which is not his? How long? And to him that ladeth himself with thick clay.
That's right, man. That's what happened to the so-called white man. He laid himself up in thick clay, man. That's what you're seeing right now when you go on debtclock.org, man. You're seeing the thick clay, man. The debt. Because this is a society that's run by debt, man. It's an economic system that survives on debt.
I'll read it again. It says, our partners just can't stop, Putin said at a meeting with representatives of one of the Russia's regions. They have already created chaos in many territories, and now they are continuing the same.
Like Iraq, like Afghanistan, like Libya. Go ahead.
And now they are continuing the same policy in other countries, including Syria. Commenting on the Arab Spring and the ongoing Syrian conflict, he said, our position is to help carry out changes for the better in all countries, but not to try to force on them, especially by armed force what we consider to be right.
That's right, man. That's what the so-called white man does, man. They come in with armed force, man. They'll forcefully push their ways upon you, man. They'll forcefully destroy everything about you, man. If it doesn't suit him, if it doesn't benefit the so-called white man, all right, you ain't gonna do those things. Basically, man, that's his attitude, man. You know what I'm saying?
Select when you want Mike. Micah 2:1. Woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds. When the morning is light, they practice it, because that's
the so-called white man. He works wickedness upon his beds, man. The elites of the so-called white man, like the Rothschilds, the Rockefellers, the top so-called white people, man. All right, they devise wickedness upon their bed, man. While they think, man, while they meditate wickedness, man. Go ahead, bro.
They practice it because it is in the power of their hand.
It's in the power of their hand to commit wickedness, man.
Yeah, it was in the power of their hand to drop bombs on them goops.
That's right, man. It's in the power of their hand right now to invade all these countries. You know what I'm saying? It's been in the power of their hand to still kill and destroy the whole planet Earth, man. Since they came out the caves, man. It's been in their power to do these things, man. Go ahead, bro.
And they covet fields and take them by violence.
That's right, man. They covet fields and they take them by violence, man. That's what they did in Iraq. That's what they did in Afghanistan. That's what they did here in America back in 1492, man. You read that again?
And they covet fields and take them by violence, and houses and take them away. So they oppress a man in his house, even a man in his heritage.
Hey, they oppress a man in his house, even a man in his heritage, man. Because that's what they're doing over there in the Middle East. They're oppressing those people's heritage, man. They've been following their customs for hundreds or even thousands of years, man. Then the so-called white man comes in and he tries to oppress their heritage, trying to push that democratic thinking, man.
That abominable way.
That's right, man. We seen it this week, man, with Ahmadinejad. He said, when on the topic of homosexuality, he said, you can't commit a disgusting act,
forget the exact word.
You can't commit a disgusting act. You know what I'm saying? And say that that's freedom, man. You know what I'm saying? You can't commit a disgusting act and say that I have the freedom to do so, man. Because why? Because that's an abominable act. That's why, man.
And you can't force that way of thinking upon other people.
That's right, man.
Nobody wants.
Oh, that's what he said.
Yeah, nobody wants homosexuals.
Mm-hmm.
You know, in the midst of them, man.
That's right, man. You can't. He said that you can't just because one nation, you know what I'm saying, supports a way of living and a way of thinking doesn't mean they can bring it to another nation, man. Not everybody's a damn faggot like the so-called white man. Go ahead, bro.
It says, therefore thus saith the Lord, behold, against this family do I devise an evil from which ye shall not remove your necks, neither shall ye go heartily, for this time is evil.
That's right, man. There's gonna be an evil time, man, that's coming over here to America, man. Because why? Because of all the things that this place is doing, man. All the abominable acts this place does all across the world, man. And it's gonna pay for all that, man. Starting for the destruction that they brought upon the nation of Israel, man. The so-called white man has to pay, man. You go back to what was the article? Yeah.
It says,
All
I'll read it again. It says, commenting on the